Happy time zone wherever you are. We are now in part 3 of our Anamnesis. I can never pronounce this word. I try my best. Part 3 series. Just so you know, this is a solo TTRPG that you use tarot cards to make a story. And so far, our character does not know their name. They are a woman, and they are looking for a lover known as Abigail. They woke up, don't remember anything, and they had a lemon tart, and there's sorrow and everything going on. Something about magic. Her name is Joanna. So it's a bit of a time for our lovely hero who used to be part of the guard. So we are in Act 3. Act 3 for this lovely game by Blinking Birch Games is Cups. You manage to find your home. The facade is unfamiliar. You fish the key out of your pocket and you open the door. So as always, we will we'll draw 3 from the Major Arcana and 3 from the Cups deck. And in the Vampire Tarot that I am reading off of, it is Grails. So let's get our 3. Got our 3 from the Major Arcana. Make sure this is the Grails deck. It is. Cool. We're going to shuffle this up. Shuffle, shuffle. And then here is our star, which is our shadow, which we need to keep out in the open. So 1, 2, and 3. And as always, today's tea is Almond Twilight by Dryad Tea. If you don't know what Dryad Tea is, it is a nerdy tea company. There's a lot of different teas on there. This is my first time. Like in the previous series, you'll see I have a lot of Dryad Tea because I did a mystery box, and this is the first time I've ever purchased them. So this is an honest go through. So Almond Twilight reads as a delicious almond rubiose blend created for almond lovers everywhere. Inspired by no longer available blend, Almond Twilight is sweet and marzipan-y and feels just like dessert. And it does have an allergy on it, but I will read the ingredients, which is rubiose blackberry leaf, roasted carob, anise, mellow flowers, almond pieces, and natural flavors. And it does contain nuts, because there are almond pieces in this. So let's take a sip. I don't get the marzipan feel. There it is. It takes a second. You taste more of the carob, and you get a little hit of the anise, but it's like the back aftertaste. But it is. So, the 3 major arcana that we pulled are the Magician, the Priestess, and the Tower. So these are going to be important later on. So, the 3 cards we drew: Prince of Grails, the 5 of Grails, I cannot show this one, and 2 Grails, which is one of my favorite cards of all time. So, we are going to start, as always, we're going to go with our Major Arcana, type that in. There we go. Just making sure I am... Yep. So this is the second time we pulled a Magician. So I may end up doing the inverse reading for this one, just to make it a little more interesting. Make sure I did not pull the Priestess previously. I have not. I have! Okay. So we're also going to do the inverse reading. So I'm going to keep a note in here. inverted. We are also using Biddy Tarot as a reference guide for this. Just to get it correct. Deck of Grails. Alright, so we have Prince. 5. And 2. So, let's read our first prompt, because I like to do it all together, because that's just how I do my journal entries, and I'll be reading it aloud as I type. You can probably see it on the screen in front of you, so, woohoo. Okay, so the first one is the Prince of Grails. There's a dent in one of your walls. What happened here? And with 5 is you see notes to yourself lying about what is written on them. And then 2 of Grails is there are signs that someone else stays here, or at least to stay here. Who or what was this person? All right, so we are going to go to Biddy Tarot, as always, because I also like to do a mix of also the Prince of Grails as well. So let's go to the Magician. No, I do not want that ad. Thank you. Magician. We're going to do inverted. Reverse means manipulation, poor planning, and untapped talents. As we said earlier, she was there to learn magic. Like, apparently Joanna was supposed to be off learning magic. Previously. Who is Ding Dong? Hubby. I love my husband. He's a delight. So. Let's see. Alright. So I open the door to the house with the garden. It looks different. Like it's aged. Like it has aged. In the time I seemed to be missing. The first thing I smell is the dust all around the house. It tickles my nose. And I have the urge. And I have the urge to sneeze. We're gonna fix that. There we go. Make sure that is correct. Cool. I happened to glance at a nearby wall and noticed the scorched dent. Well, more of a hole than a dent. I walk up to it, run my fingers along the ash, and a memory returns. There's Abigail, standing there in horror. As what I can only describe as an act of a god. Escapes my hand and into the wall. It was golden in color, and it crackled and hummed before the loud boom of like thunder. Of thunder. I don't understand what happened. As this was new. I know things were probably acting strangely before this moment, but this was different. And my dearest Abigail was looking at me like I was a monster. Okay, so the magician is going back in. Prince of Grails is done. Now the second step is the priestess. Or is the high priestess for a lot of people. Okay, so reversed is secrets disconnected from intuition, withdrawal, and silence. So, if I remember correctly, our next thing was you see notes to yourself lying about what is written on them. Okay, cool. I go up the staircase. My body seems to know where my old room was. I open the door, and the scent of roses, similar to that night in the garden, hits me like a ton of bricks. I see old parchment everywhere. On the walls, the floors, even my bed. I pick one of them up, and there are sigils with lots of question marks. Written multiple times. I keep picking up pages, and it seems more and more I was descending into madness, trying to figure this puzzle about this sigil I apparently kept seeing in my dreams. The one was a moment of lucidity. It was about Abigail and how I yearned to get this solved, so I didn't have to sequester myself for her safety. I was really lonely. It seemed because there were tears staining the edges of the parchment. I stand there in complete silence, slowly realizing what may have happened, and tears begin to well. Poor Abigail. Now we are going to look up the final card for this episode, the Tower. Just so you know, we have basically not that much left. So we have Act 4 and then Act 5. So the tarot for the Tower, when it's upright, it means sudden changes, upheaval, chaos, revelation, and awakening. So how we are going to basically bring it into with the Two of Grails, which there are signs that someone else stays here, or at least stay here. So we are going to attach this to Abigail. She had left in a hurry as I look in her room and things are tossed and overturned from her wardrobe and her vanity. I pick up a necklace that had moonstones embossed in it. It's a bittersweet feeling, as it feels as though I gifted her this once. It's broken in my hands. Her silver hand mirror shattered on the floor. Among other things. Letters. Which were all marriage proposals from young lords. But they didn't know. Her heart seemed to belong to a woman. I look at her portrait and it's a memory I remember fondly. She did not want to have it done, so she made Painter's life a living hell as she kept making faces and annoying him. It was supposed to be sent to a young lord for a possible proposal, but her father determined her mischief in her eyes came across in the portrait. It wasn't safe to send. I finally head to the garden. And I think that's all we're going to do for this one. As we are about to go into the deck of wands, which in this deck it is going to be the deck of scepters. So we're going to go into Act 4 in our next episode. And then after that, we have one more act. And it's going to be interesting. This has been a good kind of like brainstorming thing so far. I'm excited to finish out the rest of this. And also, I'll be going to be doing a series of their newest game, which is a promo, which means it's not fully completed yet. So I am going to make that very clear when I do this that series, that this is a promo and it's not completed. So this is like first literal glances at what this is. So I hope you have a good time zone, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye!